question. Where do you feel like you as a young woman receive the message you should want to send nudes? Is it overt? Is it explicit? Where's it come from?
I would say it's not explicit, or at least it wasn't when I was a teenager, because the technology itself was so new. But now I feel like it's such a common thing to hear about, and it's such a common thing to know that people do. And as I've gotten older, like, I did it when I was younger, like, who hasn't at one point in time? But like, as I've gotten older and I've found out what I think is wrong and right, like, I'm like, porn isn't healthy. Okay, so I'm not going to contribute to that. I don't think it's helping any relationship I'd ever be in. I think that it just doesn't give you that connection, and it's just a false way of trying to connect with someone when you truly just want to actually connect with them on a soul level, not like a, oh, that's a nice vagina you have kind of level.
But that is a nice compliment. We all like that. I like to know vaginas.
I actually just watched a whole YouTube video about this particular phenomenon. The video is called The Lonely Fans of OnlyFans. So the OnlyFans website is, people selling their nudes and stuff, the women that do that, and some guys too. But in this video, they interviewed people that would be, let's just say, frequent supporters of different OnlyFans accounts, right? And what was fascinating was that a lot of these, typically men, that are supporting the women on these websites, they don't want to just see nudes because there's, just porn everywhere for that anyways. They're doing this in the interviews. They say this, that it makes them feel closer to the person, and they're actually speaking, because there's actually a direct message feature on that website too. So by paying the hot model or whatever, they get to have their chance to talk to them, and they're kind of paying for this connection with them. But yeah, that goes exactly what you're saying, Haley, is that our generation has a really big issue connecting. We're trying so hard. And I think me and Richard spoke on this once a few streams ago, that I think Richard's generation over here, they naturally feel really uncomfortable sharing too much on the internet because they already had real life connection with one another. And it almost seems alien to watch Gen Z and millennials just put their booty out on the screen, plus their inner secrets and how they feel about stuff.
We would never have been satisfied with that. That's the problem. That's what freaks me out. We would have got annoyed and frustrated with that shit. Right, It'd be like, why can't we?
So yeah. So exactly. So nowadays it's normal to do something extremely unnatural. I'm even guilty of this. For example, I don't feel like there's a problem with opening up too much online at all. And now the culture is so within this narrative that I'll meet up with people in real life who tend to be, more closed off with their personal stories or whatever else like that. And they feel guilty for holding that in at times. And they think that they should post more like I do. And I look at them and I say, no. You're actually the normal one. I'm the one that's fucked up, because a normal person shouldn't feel comfortable sharing too much online. So now the whole cultural landscape is saying that is the way to be, when it's actually not normal at all.
But where are you both getting where's the message coming to you both that you should act this way? Okay, let me phrase it this way. Where do you both feel you're getting the message that it's not cool if you don't do it? Who's going to tell you you're not cool?
Dudes pressure you. I mean, not all guys, maybe just the ones that I've interacted with. They definitely pressure you, or they're like, oh, well, if there's
Haley, you don't need to say not all guys to us. We're not that thin-skinned. We're not going to have a hissy fit and be like, stop that, saying that thing. But is it the girls ever say to you, oh, I sent nudes to this guy and make you feel like, the girls ever make you feel like that's normal? Do they hyper-normalize it?
I think on the internet it is hyper normalized. I don't necessarily I don't have any girlfriends that are like, I'm just spamming people with nudes and it's great. That I've never encountered. But I definitely feel like if you're on the internet realm, you see a lot of women, like even Instagram, like I do photography, but I don't post pictures of myself. I post pictures of the fucking birds I'm taking photos of, and I don't have many followers because of it, but I refuse to post my ass. I'm like, no. You're going to like the fucking birds. You're not going to like my ass. Sorry.
Brands. But this is okay. I might be over psychoanalyzing this, but I have two millennials in front of me. Is it possible that you're no longer taking social cues from people? Because I'm asking you who, like what person? Nobody, no guy, no girl for either of you is really saying.
You know what it is? You know what it is? It's the lack of social cues. It's the lack of real life social cues. So we are the first pioneers of the digital native. I was, I think, literally the first 1,000 that was a digital native. I grew up on a computer since I was 3 years old, sort of a thing. And so we grew up. We were the first generation to really pioneer the lack of intimate, or we were the last generation too to have intimate real life relationships, some more than others. In my personal life, I had it to a certain degree, but there was definitely something lacking, and I'm sure Haley could relate to that as well.
Yeah, for sure. There's not a lot of in-person connecting, and I'm trying to not connect as much on the internet to people and make friends like in real life, which can be difficult now because most people, like, we're so segmented. And when you talk about real things, it makes a lot of people uncomfortable, or, you know, I feel like the things that you shouldn't talk about are the things that you should talk about the most. But
here's a leading question for you, Haley. If you said to your peers, be they male or female, that your biggest ambition in life was to get married and have kids, I know that it may or may not be, do you think they would respond to that well, or do you think it would make them feel awkward and uncomfortable?
Probably awkward and uncomfortable.
Okay.
Like, I have a friend who just turned 30, and she's been single, and she has a great life, but like she has no ambition for that. And a lot of people don't, you know, you're focusing on your career or school or traveling or what have you.
So sorry, just to follow on from that, in the way that we were saying before, like it's not clear how to win at being a man anymore. Like, where do we go? Oh, I'm a man now, fine. Do you feel like you know how to be a woman, where you could go, okay, this is what being okie dokie?
No, right. I feel like actually being the traditional feminine, like not slutty, not prudish, but like, you know, reserved and classy. Like, I feel like that's looked down upon. Like, I feel like you got to be an Instagram hoe to get anywhere. And
Yeah, I could definitely see the narrative. Like, most of this conversation has been about me and Richard talking about men being lost, but I can definitely see a lot of girls, especially young girls, feeling super lost, especially because even now at the age of 13 to 14, they just see these like unrealistic bodies that feel like they're just made of Play-Doh and CGI. And this is their idea of what it means to be a woman. And yeah, you know,
maybe it's not that men have left the field and that maleness and masculinity is being attacked, but maybe it's that all adults have left the field. Like, adulthood is what's out of fashion. Being an adult, growing up, and being maybe that's what's gone.
I actually could agree with that, because if Instagram culture and social media and like modern life, less people are having kids, less people are actually growing up, so to speak. So I could see how that would actually cause us to be just children throughout life. And how do we connect as children if we don't know the landscape of adulthood and we're not in adulthood or in that frame of mind? So yeah, I agree with that.
Thank you for your honesty. You've given me a lot to think about. It's going to take me a couple of days to process that. So I don't really have anything to say to you other than thank you. There's no potential for intimacy in a relationship where there's no communication, only signaling. And so that's what nudes are. I don't want communication. I want a signal. So I've said this to you. Because Gen X, we don't talk about this shit in public, but I told you it was girls were asking me for nudes. And I'm like, what the fuck? What are you going to do with that? Are you going to be off? Are you going to be off right now? If you want a picture of me with no shirt on now, is that because you're going to beat off and give yourself an orgasm now and go to sleep whilst we're communicating? I've spoken to you at length about this because it's a thing for me because I'm from a different generation. The timeline for sex is fucked. Mm-hmm. It's fucked up. So in my day, you met somebody face to face, you started talking, you'd have a laugh with them, you'd hang out with them, and then it would do the American system, we would talk about that in the UK, first base, second base, you would hold hands, then you would kiss, then you'd be dry humping over your clothes, and then it would escalate. Now, and then maybe, I don't know, once you've dated somebody for 3 or 4 months and then you're not together because you're away with work, somebody would send somebody else a picture. Now it's all like, I would dream, I just wouldn't flip something like intimate picture to somebody that I hadn't been with for less than 6 months for my own safety. Like, what the fuck are they going to do with that? Why are you guys so cavalier? Why is that generation so brave? Like, I would feel like it's beneath my dignity. I'd feel like it's dangerous. I'd just be like, why do you think that's okay to do? But it's the time.
Okay, boomer. So let me explain. Okay, so, I mean, part of it is just heavy normalization of it. I mean, it just became to be a normalized thing within the last few years. I mean, even about 7 years, 6, 8 years ago, it was still a really like, oh shit type of thing. But now with like the rise of like OnlyFans and half of the shit that you see on Instagram, dude, I hate my explore page. You know why? Because my fucking unbridled, unboundaried male brain can't control my thumb from liking pretty faces.
You have to train Instagram, or Instagram will train you.
And if I show you what my explore page looks like, it's just like the hottest girl.
Let's take a snapshot later. Mine is dogs, watches, and Muay Thai. I don't let Instagram show me anything else, or stand-up comedy.
Oh, mine's too late, dude. I am a mean dude. But yeah, man. It's all about signaling, because I just don't think we grew up with the language of entering anything deeper. You can see this with a lot of American communication with teenagers and adolescents, but out here.